I'm Kit. I'm diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, and I take multiple prescription medications and multiple supplements to treat the disorder. And yes, I have to be on all of them, so don't come at me for that. If I had just schizophrenia or just bipolar and didn't have 4 separate issues with my digestive system, I'd be taking less. And trust me, I'm not thrilled either with any of it. But that's what I take to stay safe, sane, and healthy. So I'm going to tell you my 3 biggest tips for keeping up with medications, because this is an important conversation to have. I've been doing this for 12 years now, so sit back, grab a beverage, and let's get into it. Talking about the first tip is going to take me way back in time, aka my senior year of high school when I got my first mental health diagnosis. In the beginning, I just had one pill, a mood stabilizer called Lamictal. It was a medication that saved my life and was to be taken at night. It wasn't hard to remember it, if I'm being honest. I knew it was the reason I was well. Many of you know I was the one that sought out help for my mental illness because I was the one that realized something was wrong. So getting prescribed a medication that would help that wrongness I felt, well, it was easy to take every day because it was my solution. I mean, I think I've missed doses of Lamictal less than 10 times over the 12 years I've been taking it, which is absolutely wild. And yes, that includes the times that I've been in episodes since. I always take it. And my other meds too. But I've had Lamictal the longest. This nightly routine really set me up for success. So when I added more medications, and eventually supplements too, it was still pretty simple to keep up with them because I just tacked them on to my nightly Lamictal. But why did this work? Well, I think the reason that it works really well, and kept working well, is that I developed a routine around taking my medication at night. Which I know that was a lot of background, but that's my first tip. To develop a routine. I've always taken most of my medications right before I go to sleep, as that is how they have always been prescribed to me. So I know that if sleep is happening, which it does every night, hopefully unless I'm manic or something, then I know medication time is coming. It's so ingrained in me at this point that I don't even forget to take my medication when I'm on trips or seeing my friends. I truly believe that routine is vital for those with mental illness. I cannot stress that enough. And developing a nightly one was a game changer for me. But over time, it became easier and easier to take my daily medications and not miss doses, because it just became so ingrained. And when more got added, which happened over time, they just got added into the pile. It's important to say that this can actually be fun. Crazy, I know. But you can make medication time a little bit easier. I've been known to take mine with a cup of tea that I only have at night, so it's special. It's usually chamomile and mint or just peppermint. I also treat the time after I take my medication as stress-free wind down time. I know that once I take them, my day is over and I can just relax. So I'll just shove them down and then play a game on my 3DS or read a book or edit photos. No work, just relaxing activities. Then when the ones that make me sleepy start to actually make me sleepy, then I go to sleep. And I do struggle with insomnia, but that's another video. But honestly, when it comes to those around me, we all know that around 8 to 9 p.m. is Kit's medication time. And everyone knows that once I do take my medication, I will be going to sleep soon. This even happens when I'm at conventions with friends, when schedules and environments are new and going somewhat haywire. We all know that when Kit takes her medication, she is going to sleep soon. But this happens even when I'm on a call with my parents or with someone else. And I want to make it clear that everyone in my life knows that I really don't miss my nightly medications very often. It's extremely rare if you haven't figured that out yet. So because of this, no one reminds me to take them. And similarly, no one asks me if I've taken them. But you, if you struggle with taking medications at night, you can always have someone help you with that. You can have someone remind you to take them. Though I will say many people who take medications to treat their mental illnesses don't really like it when people ask if they've taken their medications. So it's up to you. The second tip is twofold: reminders and timers, because the two are very, very important. And I'll mainly be talking about the iPhone versions of these things, but I'm sure Android has similar options. I just don't have an Android phone anymore, so I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, I started using a system of reminders and timers when I had to take medications in the morning and some as needed throughout the day. I take an as needed anxiety one and an as needed nausea one. And I have a morning antacid I have to take every day, no matter what. Thank you, GERD and other digestive issues. Basically, the way it works for me is like this. For that antacid, I have a reminder that repeats daily in my phone in the morning that reminds me to take it. Because it is a when I wake up medication, not a same time every day medication. And I check that reminder off when I do take it. That helps me make sure I take it every single day. Because sometimes, unlike my nightly medications, I do sometimes forget to take my morning ones. I don't exactly have a routine like the one I have at night. So I struggled with this and needed to develop a system. Also, when it comes to reminders, the same thing works for medications that are taken at other times. You can set it up so that the reminder goes off at a certain time, not just right in the morning when you wake up like I do with my antacid. I know plenty of people that worship their phone alarms to remind them to take their medications throughout the day, and it works really well for them. But anyways, where do timers come into play? Well, some of us have as-needed medications that aren't taken at the same time every day, or taken every day at all. And some of those might be taken multiple times a day, as the effectiveness of those medications might not last all day. If you can't tell yet, I have a few of those myself. I'll talk about my anxiety one, which is an every 6 hours situation. Since I don't take it at the same time every day, but I do often need to take it more than once a day, I need some help. So I go into my phone timers and label a 6-hour one gabapentin. And I set it every time I take it because that's how long it lasts. Trust me, labeling the timers is very, very important. And when I have another one that's an hours long as needed situation, same thing, but a different label. Because it's hard to remember when I took something if I take it at a different time every day. Especially when I end up with two medications that are taken at different times, but have the same time frame to them. Two unlabeled 6-hour timers will not bode well in this situation. Again, the labeling is super important. And guesswork is not welcome when it comes to pharmaceuticals. That can get really bad really fast. So, between my reminders and timers, I am set to be sure that I always take my medications and do so safely. One last thing before I move on to the next tip is that at least in the iPhone, in addition to labeling timers, you can also set them to not go off with a sound and just stop playing, meaning they will just disappear from the timers list when they're done counting down. I do this often because I don't really need a loud timer going off at work, as it could be inconvenient, distracting, and just not generally a good idea. But I have to know when I can take my gabapentin again. So I know if the timer is gone from the list, it went off, and I can take my medication once more. Reminders and timers can also be the first step to developing a routine when it comes to taking medications in the morning. That's what I'm trying to do. But I do know that one day if I develop a solid morning routine where I take my morning medications consistently without extra help, I still need the timers for my as-needed ones. All right, next. The final tip is one that makes us feel way older than we are, and that's pill boxes. They're these little containers that hold your daily doses and help you keep track of whether or not you've actually taken your medications. I'll be honest, this one is a hard one. When I first got a pill container, it felt like losing, but it actually means safety, because you're ensuring that you safely take every single one of your medications, that you get the right dose. But it also makes sure you're not going over the dose and accidentally doubling up, which can happen if you're not careful. Pill containers easily solve this problem. And while there are plenty of ugly ones, there are also pretty ones as well. But regardless of the pill case you use, make sure it's one you actually use. One you're okay with spending time every week filling up. Because take it from me, they do help. These days I don't really use a pill container much unless I travel, because if I go away to a convention for a weekend, I don't really want to have to worry about taking every single bottle of every single medication with me because it takes up so much space. The only time I have to do that is when I fly on a plane because the TSA likes everything in its original bottle. And I only use it when I travel also because I've been in the medication game a very, very long time, and I have a solid routine. As you guys know by now, I have a pretty good system for keeping track of things. I have used pill boxes on and off over the years, and every single time I've used them, they have helped me. Every single time. But the big idea here is that when it comes to these 3 tips, there is no shame in doing any of them. Building a routine to remember to take your medications, you aren't missing out on life by doing something that accommodates your needs and sets you up for success. Setting alarms and reminders and timers. You aren't less than anyone else because you have a few things that go off on your phone throughout the day that help you maintain your sanity. And finally, pillboxes. They do not mean you have lost some awful battle and have become an old person. They just mean you found a great way to take what you need to take safely. Because the thing is, we all have to figure out how to take our medications. We gotta take them every single day. So we have to figure out what that looks like. For some, like me, a routine and reminders and timers is what you need. For others, a weekly pill box helps. But no matter what you choose to do, make sure you choose to do something. Medications are often part of the mental illness experience. Most of us with mental illnesses need medications to function in our lives. And you can figure out a way to take them that works for you. If you have any tips you would like to share, do drop them in the comments below, as I would love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, YouTube really seems to think that you'd like this video, so go check that out if you want more content from me. But other than that, thanks so much for joining me in making the uncomfortable comfortable yet again. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.